Dr. Sleep, serving as a kind of sequel to The Shining from 40 years ago, starring Jack Nicholson. Directed by Stanley Kubrick and written by Stephen King, the movie The Shining originally was only loosely based on the novel. Stephen King wasn't too happy with the movie because it was so different than the book, but whatever Stanley Kubrick changed from the book, I haven't read the original, he definitely smashed it because the movie is one of the best horror movies to this day. Which is why I was extremely nervous with this, because usually when they have a follow-up movie or a sequel many years later, they usually flop and they're usually awful. This was not the case. Dr. Sleep is an amazing film. Starring Ewan McGregor as Danny Torrance, the son of Jack Torrance. As previously mentioned, this is 40 years later and Danny is struggling with alcohol and substance abuse addiction. He decides to get his life on track and moves to another town and enters rehabilitation or Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, starts attending AA meetings. He meets Billy, who is a very kind civilian in this town who identifies or could feel Danny's problems immediately because he has a past and a history with substance abuse himself. So he kind of takes him in, supports him, and damn, he's a really good friend in this movie to Danny. He helps him get a place, he helps him with AA, he helps him later on in the movie to a point where you'll be in tears, but I'm not going to get into any spoilers in this video. This is completely spoiler free. It isn't long before Danny meets Abra. Abra is a very powerful young child who has the similar kind of shining abilities as Danny, but much more powerful. And we also are introduced to a cult led by Rose the Hat, played flawlessly by the actress, who are kidnapping children from town to town and inflicting fear and torture upon them so that they can consume the steam that comes out of them, which only comes out of children or other people that actually have shining like abilities. So you have to have some sort of special abilities, which we call the shining in this movie, or shine abilities, and the steam is fresh in children apparently. So if you torture them and make them scared enough, once they start screaming and the fear is released, you can actually see physical steam coming out of the children, and everyone's kind of hovering over it, consuming it like some sort of drug substance. Very strange, but a very clever and awesome idea. I must admit, I enjoyed it. And Rose has some sort of ability where everyone in her cult, she can make like the undead. So they can kind of live almost forever, but not quite. So they age a lot slower. They preserve their youth. They feel great. It's almost like some sort of euphoric drug that helps them sustain their youth for a prolonged period of time. It isn't long before they identify Abra and actually sense her power, and then they just want to get that awesome shining steam out of her. And the cult, Rose, the Hat, and her cult will stop at nothing to get to Abra. So Danny and Abra team up. Obviously, Danny's a little bit older. Abra's super young, and her parents they don't have the shine ability, so they don't really understand what's happening in the background with Abra or the danger that she's potentially in. So she seeks help from Danny because she does identify that this cult led by Rose the Hat is after her, and Danny is her only hope. Directed by Mike Flanagan, who's brought us movies like Gerald's Game, Oculus, Ouija, Origin of Evil, Hush, Before I Wake, all awesome movies, and I definitely like this man's style of directing. We don't get too many cheesy jump scares, none in this movie actually, and he really does have a great way of building suspense, terror in different original ways, and that is definitely very rare. Usually movies go for just cheap jump scares, and I'm really sick to death of that, or they rely on really crappy, dodgy, overdone CGI. That's not the case with Mike Flanagan. He really captures the atmosphere, the terror, and the suspense. And my hat's off to him. Once again, he has hit the nail on the head. Dr. Sleep gets a very well-deserved 12 out of 13 on the creepy panic scale. If you're looking for cheesy, cheap jump scares, this isn't the movie for you. If you're looking for something that's really disgusting, gory, this isn't for you as well. But if you're looking for suspense, a slow build-up of terror, and a realistic type feel of something frightening out there, then this movie may definitely be for you. And I'd also like to mention this movie is its own movie. It doesn't rely on the original Shining, though it does pay tribute several times throughout the film, and particularly towards the end. I'm not going to get into spoilers at all here. So fans of the original Shining, you definitely got something to look forward to here, 100%. But also for people that haven't seen The Shining, this movie definitely shines as a film on its own, and it's definitely worth the watch. Go and check it out. I loved it. Now I cannot wait to read the book. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell up there, and keep coming back for more creepiness from yours truly, Bannick13. Love y'all.